Because at the end of the day, I don't have to talk about how bad it was or what my bad was. I got to deal with that. I had to go through this hell to get that. That's what the hell means. You got to go through the hell.
But you made it through, and look at you
I
now.
made it.
Okay, my next question is, people didn't think you would last on your spiritual journey.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to them now?
I'm coming.
Okay. And also, they said you were crazy, lost your mind, etc.
Yeah.
What do you think about all of that?
I still love them.
Okay.
Because what I understand is that when God calls you, you're going to have things that they don't have. You're going to understand things that they don't understand. You're going to have reasons to do certain things that they would be scared to do. Tell the truth.
Okay, that takes us to my next question. So you feel people are ashamed to show their faith?
I don't want to step on anybody's toes about it, but to be honest about it, if we look around the world, we can tell that they're very ashamed. There's some that's very ashamed. I think people think that because they post and say, God this, God this, God this, God that, God that. But you know, you're only going to receive as much as you give. So if that's all you give, you're just going to receive that breath you have in your body. But you want success, you want money, you want everything you want. You got to get it that way.
Okay. I see and hear your joy. What is that feeling for you? After you've been through the storm and you're out now, how are you feeling?
Here's a perfect example.
Okay. A journey from victim to survivor. I get that.
That's a perfect example. But in words, you know, it's some days that I used to didn't feel like I can be alone. I used to didn't feel like I can make this happen. You know, and it was just one of those things where it was like, you must continue on. You must not be scared of this journey. You got to fight this battle regardless. And so, being that person, it was like, learn to be alone. And when I learned to be alone, it was like, I always loved music. So it was like, I hear the music, I feel what's inside of me. I know what I would give for love. I know how I would love a person. But there was nothing, there was good love, don't get me wrong. But there's a love that some things you just can't show all your love these days. Because everybody's looking for the same thing. Bragging rights to say, I'm with you, I got you. Oh, look at our pictures. I don't need social media sites to prove my love to you. I don't need social media sites to make my love be great for you. When I had showed love on social media sites, guess what? That love was spiritual. That was a spiritual love and a connection that I didn't know. I didn't know why it felt so good. Not so much of how a person looks. It's what they gave. It's what they showed. It's what they put. Even when it's bad, they made it clear. And that's where the enemy come in at.
Okay, so showing that worldly affection wasn't what you wanted, because that's not you.
It is me, but it's spiritual. That's the only difference.
And that's the only time you show it, is when it's a spiritual
It
connection.
has to be.
Okay.
Because inside, we all know what feels good, what looks good, what fulfills us, what gives us all we need, what makes us feel great. We know this, inside and out. And that's why I can't hate people that were maybe one of the enemies. I can't hate them. I can still love them. You know why? Because it's not them. It's what we've been taught. It's what we've been showed. It's what we've been dealing with. It's how the world acts. It's not them. Because one thing about God and his gift and his spiritual gift, you're able to see the internal goods of a person and not the outside bad of a person.
Okay. What do you think of people walking by faith instead of sight?
That's where the spiritual comes in. We can talk about faith all day long. We can push ourselves to faith all day long. But you still need that connection. The voices to tell you. If you're in the dark tunnel, if you're in the dark tunnel, there's no light. And you got to make X, Y, and Z to get out of there. And you only got one shot to do it. If you go in that tunnel by yourself, never hearing that voice, never hearing God speak to you, saying, 2 steps to the right, there's a landmine on the left. Or 2 steps to the left. Positions. And I put myself back in this situation. I know when I came in with an open heart, I never thought that it'd come stab like that. Because at the end of the day, I don't have to talk about how bad it was or what my bad was. I got to deal with that. I had to go through this hell to get that. That's what the hell means. You got to go through the hell.
But you made it through. And look at you now.
I made it.
Okay, my next question is, people didn't think you would last on your spiritual journey.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to them now?
I'm coming.
Okay. And also, they said you were crazy, lost your mind, etc.
Yeah.
What do you think about all of that?
I still love them.
Okay.
Because what I understand is that when God calls you, you're going to have things that they don't have. You're going to understand things that they don't understand. You're going to have reasons to do certain things that they would be scared to do. Tell the truth.
Okay, that takes us to my next question. So you feel people are ashamed to show their faith?
I don't want to step on anybody's toes about it, but to be honest about it, if we look around the world, we can tell that they're very ashamed. There's some that's very ashamed. I think people think that because they post and say, God this, God this, God this, God that, God that. But you know, you're only going to receive as much as you give. So if that's all you give, you're just going to receive that breath you have in your body. But you want success, you want money, you want everything you want. You got to get it that way.
Okay. I see and hear your joy. What is that feeling for you? After you've been through the storm and you're out now, how are you feeling?
Here's a perfect example.
Okay. A journey from victim to survivor. I get that.
That's a perfect example. But in words, you know, it's some days that I used to didn't feel like I can be alone. I used to didn't feel like I can make this happen. You know, and it was just one of those things where it was like, you must continue on. You must not be scared of this journey. You got to fight this battle regardless. And so, being that person, it was like, learn to be alone. And when I learned to be alone, it was like, I always loved music. So it was like, I hear the music, I feel what's inside of me. I know what I would give for love. I know how I would love a person. But there was nothing, there was good love, don't get me wrong. But there's a love that some things you just can't, you can't show all your love these days. Because everybody's looking for the same thing. Bragging rights to say, I'm with you, I got you. Oh, look at our pictures. I don't need social media sites to prove my love to you. I don't need social media sites to make my love be great for you. When I had showed love on social media sites, guess what? That love was spiritual. That was a spiritual love and a connection that I didn't know. I didn't know why it felt so good. Not so much of how a person looks. It's what they gave. It's what they showed. It's what they put. Even when it's bad, they made it clear. And that's where the enemy come in at.
Okay, so showing that worldly affection wasn't what you wanted because that's not you.
It is me, but it's spiritual. That's the only difference.
And that's the only time you show it is when it's a spiritual connection.
It has to be.
Okay.
Because inside, we all know what feels good, what looks good, what fulfills us, what gives us all we need, what makes us feel great. We know this, inside and out. And that's why I can't hate people that were maybe one of the enemies. I can't hate them. I have to still love them. You know why? Because it's not them. It's what we've been taught. It's what we've been shown. It's what we've been dealing with. It's how the world acts. It's not them. Because one thing about God and his gift and his spiritual gift, you're able to see the internal goods of a person and not the outside bad of a person.
Okay. What do you think of people walking by faith instead of sight?
That's where the spiritual comes in. We can talk about faith all day long. We can push ourselves to faith all day long. But you still need that connection. The voices to tell you. If you're in a dark tunnel, if you're in the dark tunnel, there's no light. And you got to make X, Y, and Z to get out of there. And you only got one shot to do it. If you go in that tunnel by yourself, never hearing that voice, never hearing God speak to you, saying, 2 steps to the right, there's a landmine on the left. Or 2 steps to the left, there's a knife or a man with a knife on the right. If you never hear those voices, most people step on the landmines. They get stabbed by the knife. They get shot by people. Because you don't hear the voice. Because it's spiritual only. You get that connection, you hear about the enemies. You see the people that's showing you fake love. You see the people that's only want you to get your sexual parts of you. You see that. And that's the most important part of it. Because if we can fix the women to be spiritual, strong, believing in themselves, not looking for somebody because you went through life in a certain situation, that you have to hold on to that when one could have been showed you everything, every reason, all reasons. You should know that this person loves you. But the way of the world has changed that thought. And most people are fighting between the truth and the lie. The lie is out in the world. The truth is inside, and that's the spirit.
That was deep. Wow. I hope everybody is really paying attention to what you're saying and can get that spiritual healing and have some joy like you have.
Right.
So, I got another question.
Talk to me.
Why don't you quote scriptures like everyone else?
You know, when I got ready to get into the Bible and pick up the Bible and read it, that same voice said, not yet. I got you. I'll be with you every step of the way. So in my eyes, I'm saying, God, everybody I know, I grew up knowing them to read the Bible. I grew up knowing this is what we supposed to do. And he said, no, I will be with you. And nothing I speak of, nothing I say, I never read it.
That is something, because things you say are from the Bible verses, but with a twist. I say a twist for people that don't have a church or a Bible background.
The truth and the lie. The lie is out in the world. The truth is inside, and that's the spirit.
That was deep. Wow. I hope everybody is really paying attention to what you're saying and can get that spiritual healing and have some joy like you have.
Right.
So, I got another question.
Talk to me.
Why don't you quote scriptures like everyone else?
You know, when I got ready to get into the Bible and pick up the Bible and read it, that same voice said, not yet. I got you. I'll be with you every step of the way. So in my eyes, I'm saying, God, you everybody I know, I grew up knowing them to read the Bible. I grew up knowing this is what we supposed to do. And he said, no, I will be with you. And nothing I speak of, nothing I say, I never read it.
That is something, because things you say are from the Bible verses, but with a twist. I say a twist for people that don't have a church or a Bible background. You make it so they can understand it.
Right.
And it's still parts of the Bible verses in them. How do you do that?
Spiritual only.
So God speaks.
It's just like plugging up to your laptop. And you want to do online school. We know it as technology. But me, I know it as spirituality. And that's connected. The same extension cord. Take an extension cord, plug it up to it, and you connect yourself to God. You got yourself connected, where every time that you need to power anything, you need to power your life, you need to power your relationship, you need to power your love, you need to power anything, it can come directly. We can't see it. That's where the faith comes in at. See, a lot of times people just see it as, okay, I'm going to walk faithfully, but I'm going to walk blind. No. You got to have that faith part, but you also got to be connected so that that faith is always powered up by God, saying, hey, faith, there's something above. I need you to change your position. I need you to change your location. I need you to change your job. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. It's going to tell you, just like if a school teacher was on the other end of the computer saying, I need you to do this, such and such. It's the same thing with God. But we don't believe in that because we can't see it. That's where the faith comes in at.
Well, you also talk about the third eye.
Oh, yeah, that's the
with the third eye. Explain that to us.
The third eye, man. When you're physically and mentally and emotionally broken, that third eye is the one that when God calls you is the one that you have to look at. You have to open your eyes and look at it. And if you don't, it sits right here in the middle of your eyes. So when your eyes are covered, you can't see. There's nothing you can visualize. That third eye will tell you exactly what you need to do, how you need to do it, what to make purpose of, how to make this great. It's going to tell you exactly everything you need to hear. And so it's like you vision it. If you look right now, there's a section right there. It's so much, it sticks out. It's like you see it and you just like, I can see it coming. I can see the hurt. I can see the disrespect. I can see the things that people are losing. I can see the things that, you know what? I'd rather have a half of nothing than all of nothing. Because if it's half, we can make it work. If it's somewhat, I can't make it work. So I live that life as the same way with relationships, with jobs, anything. If it's halfway, I can make it work. If it's not halfway, there's nothing. You're doing it for nothing. And though it may look good, it still gives you the same purpose, the same feeling, the same disrespect, the same hurt, the same. You never could change that, you know. You never could get that better than it was, you know. So you have to look at it in the spiritual eye in order to understand it.
Okay, thank you for that. So, I see you don't sugarcoat nothing. I see from your posts. You give it blunt and to the point. Why? Why did you do that? Yeah, I mean, you know, most people don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Sometimes your feeling has to be hurt, which is breaking your comfort zone so that you can feel and understand that, you know what, I really feel this way inside, but I didn't want to hear the truth from him. I didn't want to hear it from him. I didn't want him to tell that I was telling the truth. But it's not me. That is God reaching out to you. And as soon as you can break that, you'll understand that it's true. That's how powerful he is.
Well, it's been said that you shouldn't curse or listen to secular music if you believe in God. And you sing, and you listen to music, and I see some half curse words, but the letters are blocked out or whatever. What do you have to say about that?
We grew up hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it was still happening. So when it's still happening, you know, as you grow up, what else do you know? And you're going through trials and tribulations at the same time. What else do you know?
Well, they're saying that if you're cursing, there's no way you're saved.
Right. That's again, we're misguided fully. We're misguided. Spiritually, God knows you're gonna cuss. Because those same ones that will get in front of the church and say da 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 da, they're gonna cuss too. Behind the doors though. Me, I'm not afraid of it. He also said, do not judge. It's tatted on me. Only he can judge me. And so I believe in that. So any negativity or misjudgment, misunderstanding that people have towards me, that's perfectly fine. I don't hate them for that. I don't dislike them for that. That's your judgment. But I know God said only he can judge me.
That is correct. So, since you're singing, you haven't been doing any shows since this pandemic has been going on. What are your plans for your music once the pandemic is over?
Music was just a hobby. Music was never my thing. Like, I love music, but doing music was only for people. I didn't do music to, you know, I loved it. If anything I do, I always love it. I always put my all into it. I don't never get into nothing. I don't care if it's pushing dirt down the highway. I'm going to put my heart into pushing the dirt. That'll look its best. So I had to go. And remember I told you when God, that same voice said, do it your way. It goes with anything. Do it your way. And that's what I did. You know, a lot of times that music was only for people that I knew in my heart, I felt in my soul, that was very, very, very spiritual. I felt like they had that connection. Even when I didn't understand the spiritual life, I still feel like they had the connection. I still feel like they were great people. I still feel like they can be the best. But I also knew that they had a battle to fight as well in this world that only wants to see them down. See, they didn't know the hate that came with me. They didn't know. And so once they realized as we continue to climb the ladder, the devil is always there reaching to pull you down. And a lot of times that's what happens. It ain't, it's not them. It's not them. It's not them personally. It's the mind overpowering the spirit, which that often makes God upset. And when that makes God upset, you wonder why you go through the hell. You wonder why you can't be joyful. You wonder why everything you do does not prosper. It's because you deny what you are. You're denying what people do for you. You're denying the fact that you only has reached this side of life because of this person. And when you don't acknowledge that and you allow the people to tell you this or tell you that, that's just your blessing gone. But it's always when you get your blessings is when people want to love you. And it's a prime example of what happening right now.
Okay. So, how are you surviving through the pandemic? What are some things you want the listeners to know about surviving the 2020 pandemic? And how to be prepared if things fall apart worse?
At this point in life right now, if we look around, we're facing one of the worstest. And there's certain things that I can't speak on. There's certain things I got to be safe about that I speak on, because I'm not in the best safe haven of myself, in order to tell the world the exact thing. I can forewarn you of what's coming. And I think a lot of people are realizing it right now. Everything I said about the COVID-19 from the start, it happened. Everything I said about what was going to get worse, it happened. And even when I told them about now, it happened. So it's just another day in the Bible that we all live. And God made me not read the Bible so he can give it to me directly, which would make people say, there's no way. I've had many of people come to me and say, are you a minister? Are you a preacher? Are you having your Bible? Are you Muslim? Are you this? I don't burn smoke or candles. I don't do any of that. I don't even know all the things that people do to get their religion, which I don't knock that. I respect. As long as you spiritually connected, get it how you get it. But me, I'm normal. I pray the same way as what I grew up to pray as. I talk to God the same way I always talk to God. I didn't make myself be this person. I didn't even know where this come from. I don't even know. I woke up, I went to one of my physical therapists, right? And he was like, can I take this microphone off?
Yes.
Because this is killing me. Yeah, let me get comfortable and talk to these people. Yeah, I didn't even know where this came from. It was something that I woke up to. I didn't even know. I was at my therapist one day and he was like, hey man, do you notice every time you're talking about spirit and God, do you know that you spread your fingers? And I was like, no. So I was at a friend of mine one day and he's like, why you spread your fingers like that? I didn't even know. I didn't know where they come from. I didn't know. You know why I didn't know where it came from? Because he done it whenever I was asleep or something. It didn't just, I don't know when he done it. I could have been woke, but I don't know where it came from. And for months and months, I was scared to look it up. I was like, what is this?
So what does it mean? It
means long live, prosper in the worldly ways. And what they're used to in the Star Trek movies and all that, right?
That's totally different.
This is actually, if they dig a little deeper, they will see that God gave unto the high priests, Moses and Aaron. And Lord, behold, I wouldn't even try. I was scared to look it up. So I definitely wouldn't try to do anything else than what it is. And this is what it is. This is where my knowledge comes from. This is why he told me don't read the Bible yet. He didn't say don't ever read the Bible. He said don't read it yet. And so this was his power. This was his grace. This was his mercy. This was his gift. And these are powerful hands. So all praise be to God.
Mr. Beard, you just took two of my questions that quick.
Did I? I'm sorry. I
see you just got to go on, and that's fine. Let him lead you.
That's what he does, spiritual only.
Okay. So, what is your thoughts on the lynch mob and things that are surfacing right now with the corona and the pandemic? I see you have predicted some things that I saw on your page post, and I was like, wow, what? This is what he said months ago.
Right.
So you touched on it already, but that was a question that I had for you. How? So you're saying God? This? I mean, I'm just lost for words right now.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was telling you about when I said I tried to read the Bible.
Yes.
It was only one thing He allowed me to read, and that was Moses' part. And it was so crazy that to learn that Moses was a murderer, he stuttered, all of that, and God still gave him that gift of power.
Wow.
So, it was like after I got that, it was like, you don't need to see nothing else.
And you're not even close to a murderer and all
None of that.
So And
none of that. So, it was like, I just need you to understand how strong I am, how powerful I am, how great I am, the things that I can do in your life, even though people in the world would say it's wrong how you carry yourself or what things you do are wrong. The love of the passion that you have with whatever you do, it still stands okay with God. And that's what people have to start to learn to get. The lynch mob, I'm not worried about a lynch mob because I'm not acting like the worldly ways. What God shows me is how to get away from the lynch mob, how to still serve justice on this land away from the lynch mob.
What can you tell us how? What are we going to get away from it?
Again, it still starts about losing people. I'm not the person. I'm not God. I'm the person to tell you to listen to God, to understand God. And the only way you can do that if you're spiritual, connected, meaning that you got to go to God yourself. Drop to your knees yourself and say, God, I'm ready to listen to you, connect to you day in and day out. We can't go 3-4 days and say, okay, God didn't show up. I'm done. I ain't worried about God. Let me go back and do my regular thing. I got more love that way. That is what's happening. Me, I give it to him 20, almost 24, I don't know. But anyway, I give it to you 22 hours a day almost. Some with my personal feelings involved because I am human. But majority is of praise. Majority is of letting people know, man, it's not over yet. It's not over yet, but we'll run into a short time of life if we don't change our ways. If we don't start loving those who love us back. Forget about the relationships. Forget about all who's in your circle and who is this. Just remember who loves you, who's been there for you when you're on your back, you're sick, you're down, you're out. Remember who's there for you. Because what a lot of people chasing right now is clout. I don't chase clout. I'm strictly, if my clout is chased, it's chased by God. Okay. and he said, go get it. Go do it. Yeah, post that video. Post this post. When you serve under that way, no matter how wild it may look to people, no matter how unreal it may look to people, it's always when God delivers that blessing to you for doing his will. Is when they want to love you. So maybe when God delivered that blessing to me, I don't have to tell you every day about spiritual life. I don't have to do this because I'll be out giving people new life, new reasons. You made it. Yeah, you're broken. Yeah, you're down. Yeah, you hurt. But I got you. I can show you a better way. But I need it all. You got to give me everything. Not half, not some, not hold it back, not trying to look good. I need it all. Because God said you got to come empty. You got to come empty, meaning I got to lose some people that don't love me. Because those who love you are going to be there for you. They're going to support you through the hell and the rain. They're going to be right there. So I live under that life, and that's just what it is. I mean, I'm willing to lose people. I've lost people. That doesn't, I don't fear that. Because I know at the end of the day, I always gave you everything. My spirit always showed you the love that you desires. The love that you can't go 6 months with a guy and never see it. That love I have, it sticks, it stays. It's nothing that you can just say is fragile. If I told people my longest relationship in life has been 19 years. Not saying that it was beautiful, 19 years. That means that whatever God connected me with, And whatever seeds I planted with a person, I live with that seed because I love that seed. I love to see it grow. I love to see it beautiful. I love to see it be its best. I love to see it every day. But there's a war inside. Not only them, there's a war inside this world. And you must submit spiritually in order to understand the guidelines that maybe God said, I will put my chosen one right in front of you, right in your presence. Don't worry about where I put him at. Appreciate that I put him there with you. Appreciate that I gave him the life to put you there. Appreciate that. It's always the ones that they tell you that appreciate them, which is going to tell you a story. Which is going to tell you all that you feel and you need. And just because your confidence is so low, you'll belittle to certain things. You'll break yourself away from greatness. You'll break yourself away from all the motivation. And it's always until that situation unfolds that what you thought was good for you wasn't. Me, I feel like I protected people from that. I knew it was a cold world. I knew it was. I knew it was a cold world. I knew people was jealous. I knew people was envy. I knew it. And so I protect you. And I'll tell you signs to look out for. But if you misguided, you almost can't tell certain people certain things. So when you connected it spiritually and you submit yourself and you give it all to God, you will be able to understand, because God's going to remind you he's right. Or she's right. And you can't sleep with yourself. You can't be comfortable with yourself. You can't be who you want to be until you understand that that connection must be made. You wonder why you're stressed? You wonder why you can't find that love you want? You wonder why that person won't love or show you off? Because you allow your spirit to be hidden. And I'm fully spiritual. So when I don't feel it and I know it's more inside of you, because I wouldn't have gave you those times, those years, if I didn't know it was there. I gave you those years because I've seen it here, I've seen it there, it go away, it come back. I've seen it numerous of times. And it's just at this point in life where we're facing a pandemic, we're facing a race war, we're facing so much amongst the world, and nobody knows because nobody has this spiritual connection. Not nobody. I'm going to say the people I know. I mean, if we had a spiritual connection, what we fighting is a losing battle. We're fighting a losing battle, but we can win spiritually all the way, because everything that we want, if you take 1 million people and 1 million people got $1, our culture, black people, and we all put our ideas together because we got construction workers, we got plumbers, we got business minds, we got everything we need to build our own empire. If we got to separate between the two, hey, they have their life, we'll build our own entrepreneurships. Nothing but us, because that's where we'll spend our dollars at. We can get everything that we go and work for. Walmarts, all these different jobs. We can build our own, whatever we want to name it. The same thing, sell the same things. It's our opportunity, but we have a problem. Everybody wants to get there first. Everybody wants to clout. Instead of saying, let's clout together. This way. If we can walk, march together, why can't we dollar ourselves together to make our own money? So that what we're fighting for, we're going to spend money over here. Why not spend it in your own industry, in your own situation, in your own business, in your own company, in your own relationship? Why not spend it there? So we wouldn't have to fight those battles. Because if our money is just as good as their money, then there ain't no fight. We spend it where we want to, right?
Yes.
So if I got a business, you got a business, and the next person got a business, and we're all black, guess what? And I sell everything you love. You sell everything I love. That sell everything, and the list goes on. How are we losing?
That's right. That's how you build black wealth.
Exactly.
So, what do you feel about the Black Lives Matter movement? What are your thoughts on the protesters and the looters?
I really don't agree with the looters because not that it's bad out of their frustration, not that it's bad. It's just I don't believe in it because that shows weakness to me. It shows that there's another reason they can say
That we did something.
that we did something.
Okay, I understand that. So, what about Trump? You got anything to say on that?
Trump is Trump. I'm not that person to just drag a person down because I know he was misguided just like we were.
Okay.
So, I know one thing about God though. He can turn Trump around and still make him lose the election if he want him to. He can still make him be turned around and fix all the problems he's caused. He can still make him do whatever he want him to do. That's why we got to understand spiritual life. Because guys, he's going to tell you, oh, don't worry. Don't worry about that bill. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. I'm going to make it work for you. So you got to know which side of life is better to get the understanding you need to go forward in life. Most people look to people to get the understanding of life, and that's not where it's at.
What about Joe and Harris, Kamala? What's your thoughts on that? Kamala.
I watched their when he first told her he would accept her, into working with her or whatever, or accept her as the vice president. I watched both speeches, and both speeches were spiritual. They never said spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how bad we don't understand it. If we could just speak on spiritual, God would allow that spiritual connection. He'd say, I heard you. And send that cord down that you need. You'll never know it's plugged to you. I didn't know this was plugged to me. My fingers spread. That's a connection. That's a direct plug-in.
Right.
So my electricity, it flows through me. That's where the excitement comes. That's where the videos come from. Not because I want you to love me or like me. I don't care about that. I love me enough. And I know that I got enough justice in my heart to help others that don't even know what love is or got love taken from them. So I let people judge. That's why I remain humble.
That's great because we're not supposed to judge people. That's only God can. So how do you feel about the deaths by the police? Is there something that we can do to make it better?
Of course.
Or do you believe in defunding the police?
I don't even. That's politics. The defunding part of it. Mm-hmm. That's politics. That's all politics. That still don't change the man. That still don't change the woman. That still don't change the person. It doesn't help the person. It don't help them get better understanding because you defund them. Even them, they're no different. We bleed the same. Put on our pants the same way.
And you happen to put on those same pants they wear.
Exactly.
Officer Bearded.
But it was more than what people would view it as.
What do you mean?
I only did that because I saw my city. That we didn't have much. And my soul was dedicated to my city. Even before I came law enforcement on there, it was like I was the head chief of the fire department. Like, yeah. So I was always invested into my city and never asking for a dime. Most people wouldn't even believe that I worked for my city a whole year for free.
Really?
That's
dedication. Why did you do that?
Because God told me to love. He told me to do it. He said, protect your city. And I love everybody in my city, though that return is not the same.
You really think that?
I know it.
That's terrible.
It is, but, that's part of life. That's why I said it's misguided. It's not them. Because I still love them the same. If you did something wrong to me that was real evil, if you shot my daughter or something, or you shot my kids, you shot at me, yeah, I probably hate you or be envy towards that. But just to actually, judge and speak about things or feel a certain way, that's your judgment. You have that right to be that. That doesn't change who I am, because I'm going to keep moving forward. Most people stay there and fight that battle. They try to tell me, no, I ain't like that. Oh, you lying. So if you're spending time fighting, you don't have no time to roll forward. So that's just been my life, you know, to just roll forward. I know you don't like it. I know you're jealous of it. I know you think I'm this. I know you think I'm that. And I allow that. You will not defeat me by your words when I know inside that I'm spiritual, telling the truth.
Okay.
And that's where my prosperity come from.
Wow. Audience, are you getting all of this? Since you talked about your city, tell us about that video at the convenience store where the guy held the door to you and looked like he bowed. What was that about?
I don't know. It was so crazy how that happened. I was actually getting ready to get out and go in the store, and it was like God said, turn your phone on, put it on the dashboard, and turn it on record.
Did you know him?
No, God said it.
You didn't know the guy?
He wasn't even there when I made it.
Oh, okay.
So it was like, put it up there and go in the store. And I just follow, and that's what the thing about obey means. If you obey me. And I obey. He never said how he's going to ask you to obey him. It could be jumping or doing backflips in front of the church.
And you're going to do it.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to try. But that's just part of the things about obeying. And when I obeyed it, it was just like, I went in the store to do what I was going to do. I actually feel my ice cool up, coming out. And it was just like, boom. I felt it. I felt the guy say, let me tense up. Holy crap, let me open the door. And I'm for years, I've saw this. And I always be like, man, what's wrong with these suckers? Why are they acting like that, you know?
Right.
But I guess I bring something with it. I don't know if my spirit speaks or if it's my vibration. I don't know what it is. But it was like he pushed that door open so fast. And as I walked the door, never looking at him. Mm-hmm. He was like, I bowed. I mean, he bowed to me. That is what God wanted me to see. That's why he told me to put it on the dashboard.
Okay. So
that I don't have to have that person with me, or that person that don't really love me like they should, there to say, hey, record me going in the store. Mm-hmm. I don't have to have that. God said, I will be with you. And that's him being with me, telling me to watch this, preparing you, confirmations, things that make you drive yourself up the wall if you don't never take the time to understand his powers.
Wow. It seems like you command the room when you enter. Your stature, gets people attention. So that's probably part of it too.
But me, I always looked at myself as normal. I always looked at myself as just like everybody else. No better, no greater. I move different, but I don't look at myself no better, no greater. I don't look like I have more than the next person. I never brag and say I have more. I just have fucking fun. Mm-hmm. Excuse my language, but I just have fun. I have fun. I know that I don't have to fight an enemy. I know I don't have to argue with a person. I know I ain't got to hear a different person's problem every day. I know I ain't got to listen to the lies of other people. They're just judging from the outside. I know this. And when you don't have that space taken up in your head, what God has for you, he downloads it into that space where that negativity used to sit at. There's an empty space of knowledge, wisdom, power, growth, development, and so much more.
Is that where you say, get out your own thoughts? Is that what you mean?
Exactly. Because your own thoughts will take up that space. But it's not always that person that get those own thoughts. It's because we try to be saviors to people in their own situation. They won't even take the time out to figure out their own situation. They won't try to fix their own situation. They're too busy laying for people to fix their situation. And over and over again, somebody gonna tell you, hey, I know you've been through this, and baby, I just want to love you. I just want to be in your presence. Oh, bro, man, I got your back. No matter what you do, bro, I got your back. And we people fall for that. And honestly, they only want what you have. They only want what they feel they can get a piece of. And that's what's taken a lot of people, to a point where they are.
So you say you don't brag. I understand it, but you have quite a lot of things. I know you started as a truck driver and you drove for what, 15, 20 years?
Yeah, 15.
15.
Yeah.
So you own your own company, so you made a lot of money.
Right.
So the things you have, it was from hard work.
Right.
And they don't see that because rumors were you were selling dope. Now, that is just crazy. Like, you couldn't make any money to buy the things you had.
I'm gonna have to pause you on that question for a second because I need to take a break. But let's pause there. Let's get a little music or something playing through the break, and I'll be right back. That's okay?
That's fine.
All right.
I don't wanna let up, all I feel is pressure. I know I messed up before, but I'm back and I'm better. Just wanna be honest, just wanna be loyal. Winning got a back so I can support you. Do anything for you, put no one before you. I'll always answer, won't ever ignore you. Whatever it is that you're doing, just know that I'm for you. Yeah, I got your back cause I'm back and I'm better, baby. Oh yeah, ready to receive your cause you are special, baby. Oh yeah, baby, I need you. Baby, I need you. I need you. Baby, I need you.
Welcome back to Visual Truth Entertainment, and we're in
Yes,
the middle
sir.
of our interview with Mr. Kenneth Bearden.
Let's go now. What was that question you asked me? I'm sorry about that.
About your community thinking that you can't work and buy what you need, that you have to be selling dope.
Again, we're misguided. We look out from the outside. We watch when a person move. We watch how long they're gone. We watch everything but finding out the truth of it all. And that's, again, one of the things thou shalt not judge.
Right. And a lot of people didn't know while you're driving the truck and you're doing 40 customs, you're doing detailing and lawn service, your income was coming from several different places. So whatever you want, you can actually get it.
True.
And you don't have to sell dope.
True.
Okay.
I mean, that's kind of like one of those things where you have to look at it like, am I going to spend time worrying about their judgment, or I'm going to spend time worrying about what I could do, or what business I can create, or how far I can go in life? If I'm going to spend time, let me spend time that way.
Right, not worried about what people have
Exactly.
to say. Okay. I want to talk something on your music, your songs. The song that we've been playing is Back and I'm Better. That was your first song?
True. First time ever in the studio. I never ever recorded music myself personally. I never been in, this was all for my artists. It was all for my artists, and I know God connected a lot of it, but that was all for my artists. It wasn't for me. Because I said it in one of our songs where I was like, if I win, the whole team win. And I asked him personally, like, would that be the same way? And he was like, yeah. Me, I stand on it. Even if I win tomorrow, I'm still gonna give him that opportunity to do his best, to forget about people, but we can't lose people. You can't, it's happened to me twice. I've invested into two people with music wise. And it was the people. It wasn't them. God never it's the worldly ways. God never lets me invest my finances into something that he don't have a plan for. It's just the fact that when the plan gets so big and it gets so forcefully and it has to be done a certain way and done right, it's the people amongst them that they can't see that makes them lose that. It's not them, but that's why you got to stay connected spiritually. If you're connected to them, they can snatch their plug out away from each other. Like if I just imagine me with this. If I plug this into you and I take this other end and plug it into me, any day, any given time, I want to snatch it away from you, and you really was there for me and supporting me, that would hurt. That would make you feel like, why do you do that? It's because the people does it. And when that happens, it leaves the person that really was doing it for his best and it good, wanting them to see him be great. If they're good, they're good. I'm not going to spend money. I don't go buy regular cars. If it is no good, I'm going to try to buy my best. I'm going to try to do my best with whatever I invest in. And people will judge you for that because they don't know how you operate. You don't get out there and say, hey, I did this, and this. I don't have to tell you the way. I can tell you your way because your ways may not be my ways and vice versa. So you have to take the time to understand that everything is not meant to go in your direction. Some stuff you have to go through with a little heartache and pain. A little fight, a little cuss out, a little things we may not mean. It's only the strong survive. And that's what this is about. That's exactly what this is about. Submit your soul, and you can survive this.
Wow, okay. So you started out producing, then you went to singing. Did you write Back and Better?
Honest truth about Back and Better, and again, that was the first time ever in the studio. Well, before that, I was actually just walking to the kitchen to get water, and it came to me. It was like, I'm back and I'm better, baby. And I didn't know where it came from, and so at that time, the person that was around in my RHT group was like, bro, where they come from? I'm totally lost. I don't even know where it came from. And so Vontae came over and I finally got with him and I told him what happened. And he was like, ready to receive your love.
That's beautiful.
And so it just kind of built itself up on itself like that. And it was all because of God. Like, I didn't know. See, a lot of times when a song comes out doesn't mean that you know, for this song instantly, Back and Better. I knew inside I wasn't better at that time of the music. I was actually at my worst. My sinuses was a mess. I had to pay for 2 days of studio to get it right.
Oh, okay.
So with that being happening, it was like I knew I was being controlled by something. And as time went on from that point on, it was just like, okay, just because I made the song in November of 19 to say you back and better. It's 2020 now, this time, that you're back and better, actually. So it gives you that lead. It gives you that guideline to say, I feel all of this that I sing about. I would do this. And it'll be even more amazing when that song actually goes with what your life is. Spiritual only. You lost words.
I'm trying to find my place here. So I see a lot of people are posting Back and Better, remain humble, a lot of quotes that you say.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Are you excited that people are really looking and sharing your quotes?
I am excited. I do like it. I do, a lot of the people that I've seen do it, they got mad love off social media, which they don't have on social media as much or at any. That shows me that they have decided to allow a social media platform become before our love.
Right. Because
So
they should show
that
that.
should be the same way there. Because if I gotta see it, then I should know that you support it. And when you see that, it's just like, you know.
I get it.
Yeah.
You know, you're not telling me, but you'll post something that
Right.
or say
right,
something that I've
right, right. And that's okay to a certain point. And the reason why I say it's okay to a certain point, I'm okay with how you allow this world to misguide you. Just remember that same thing when you see certain things appear. You see me doing certain things and you expect me to help you. I'm scared of you. I'm actually nervous of you because you can't decide between a digital internet surface of social media
or being true.
or being true to what you know. I never caused you no harm. I've always been there for you. So
Okay.
I'm confused about a lot of people right now.
The people that are listening, and you are that person that's doing it, you better try to show props and give love where it's due. So, the next thing, I want to know what artists influenced you when you started your journey, when you're going through your journey. Who do you listen to mostly? I see you do Jagged Edge a lot of Kevin Gates. Are those the only things, and why did you choose those? The rapper and
Well,
R&B.
I really didn't. I ain't gonna say I even choose it because a while back, from before the journey, I didn't even listen to Kevin Gates.
Never?
I didn't like maybe one or two songs. I wasn't a full fan of it. I wasn't even like, cause Gates had this time in life where he had to go through struggles, and nobody understood his pain. It's just the fact that he was going through in rapping wise, and I was going through it in, just daily living type of thing.
So you kind of related to him.
I related very well. Yeah.
Because I know on one of them he's talking about driving a 18-wheeler.
And that's another thing. He never drove trucks, but let me tell you, that's the power and the spirit power of God. That you can't miss that message. When he took me away from TV. I don't watch TV. I don't watch shows. I don't watch none of that. Like I watch YouTube or something like that, but it's only knowledgeable stuff. It's never nothing, no fugazi stuff. I don't watch that. But when God had me connected to Gates, it was like our journey started at the same time in a spiritual way. But me, I don't claim no titles. Like again, I say no cap to that. I'm all original with it. It's just spiritual connection. You praise how you praise. If Kevin Gates was so wrong for his spiritual ways, why are he winning? Why he doing what him and his wife supposed to do? That's all I want. Somebody that just don't give a crap about what this world thinks. Don't give a crap about it. That helps you build that foundation, that solid ground. That's what I want. I don't care about what people think. I don't care about posting social media relationships. That's nothing. If we can't gain it behind the doors that same way, I'm not giving fake love out to the world. I'm not gonna show you if I know behind the doors is bad. I can't. It'll be against my will.
So I'm going to take your quote then. Spiritual only. I'm doing it in front of you. I'm not
Spiritual
stealing
only.
it, putting it on something else.
Yeah.
Spiritual only. So.
Because you feel spirit. You feel energy. You feel love. You feel when it's intense. You feel when things get amazing. You feel that. You feel it. I'm talking about to the point where it might make you want to just jump on the top of the bed and pop your butt. You feel it. And so when you know when it's spiritual, yeah, like spiritual.
Did you say pop your butt,
Pop your
Mr.
butt.
Beard?
Pop your butt. Because it's spiritual. You feel. See, spiritual is not always by the book type of thing. Spiritual is saying, I see you, Torn. I see you such and such. I see this person. I see this person. I see y'all having fun. I see it. So have fun. Just don't hurt nobody. Or don't hurt each other. Love, care, be there. You on a spiritual flight, you might as well take it.
And enjoy, huh?
Why not?
So, I heard that some of your family members are saying that you're a valuable cargo and to be careful with you. I don't know if I'm stating it correctly, but what is that? Can you tell me what was said?
I mean, it's only because I just don't get a credit for who I've been.
All your life?
I'm not gonna say all my life, but I'm gonna say majority of my adult life. I just didn't never get the. I got the credit as long as I acted like them. It was until God called me. It's when that changed, because that's why I don't hate them today, because I know they don't understand what I understand. So that makes the prime example of just because God chooses me to be spiritual and tell you things that can help you grow, doesn't mean that you change against a person. Because if you love them, you should stay the same and even learn the same thing. But you'll feel like they left you out. If God blesses that spiritual person and you still sitting here struggling or working 9 to 5 hours jobs to provide for your family and your needs, you would be mad that if I don't give it to you. But you got to remember what you did before the blessing. You got to remember how you treated me before the blessings. So though you may have done wrong, doesn't mean that you can't make it right. It's up to you to open your heart spiritually. Be willing to lose a brother, a sister, or a cousin, or a best friend, or whoever out your life. Not dead out your life, but out your life. Because if you know that they're not telling you motivating things to say, girl or boy, man, you need to do this, you need to do that. I see this, I see that. We don't have that. Now it's like, oh, he think it is, or she think she that, and then they get away from you. They run from you. And when they run from you, they're scared of you. They're scared of you to the point that if I don't act a certain way, act crazy and stop him from being this great of a person, and it's designed that way. It's designed for people to, the devil knows if he can grab you. And if the devil grabs you, God's going to remove you from that. He doesn't want to remove you from it because he knows you love him when you care for him. It's just that he don't want you to fight no more battles than you already fight.
That was very well spoken. I only have one more question. Is there anything you want to add before I ask this question?
I do. I just want people to understand one thing. Before you judge a person, before you think that he went crazy or he flipped out or he's a drug dealer or he's this or he's that, learn the history, learn the truth. Because I'll tell you, free-hearted. Stop thinking because somebody like your stuff on social media, you're in love with them. Stop thinking that. And even when a person, I'm going to tell you how bad energy travels. Energy travels into another person that has a crush on you. It'll travel into them. And they would post their internal feelings about you, saying how they would do this and they do this. And the worldly ways would think that, oh, they got to be messing around. You got to be messing with them. Now, somebody do just love the way that a person carries themselves. And I carry myself this way day in, day out. You know, I don't put on the blazers, the suits, and none of that every day. But I have. You know, but me, I'm always in a comfort fit, you know, Nike or something like that. It's not that, I mean, and people are swerving down like you. I don't even look at it as being clean or anything like that. Like, I feel like I'm just as comfortable as you is. I'm just as normal as you is. I just move different. So, you know, that's how I rock.
Okay, well, thank you. My last question is, you talk about peace. What is peace to you? Why do you
speak so much on that about you just want peace. And I think you play this song from what artist is that?
Sammy.
Sammy.
Yeah.
A lot on your live and your videos about Be My Peace.
Right. Because, man, you done went through a whole life for so long, and you fight these battles, and you knowing that this person could do everything. They could love you. You saw it. You saw it way before now. And you knew that this person could love you better than anybody. But when they trapped up in that world of, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't be with him, you shouldn't do with this, get rid of that nigga, he don't got nothing for you, he living this way, he got this, he got this. That's not my peace. That's not being my peace because you hear them. My peace is saying, I hear y'all talking that jibber jabber, but I know this person loves me. I know this person got me. And when he come and I know anything that's bothering him, anything that's hurting him, anything that I could do, I'll walk through hell and fire for that person. Sometimes when you arouse that energy in a relationship, willing to lose your brother, your sister, your family, anybody, your friends, willing to lose them if they can't appreciate who you are and what you're involved with. It's either change that cycle of that or continue to live in the hell of all men ain't this or all women ain't this. Right now, women are being bought for little or nothing. Knowing their weakness. Paying a couple of bills. Telling them they still beautiful because of a certain situation. Will destroy you. And it's just going on for years and years and years and years and years, time after time. All they pretty much need is a decent little, a few dollars, and it's gone. If we can't fix the women of this world, then the world can't be fixed. Because the women are needing the spiritual side of life to continue to hold themselves beyond what we're seeing right now. Right now we see a lot of, I tell you anything, and you love it, you appreciate it, and I'm gonna be in your bed by the end of the night. That's simple. It happens that way. You know why? We're just that torn down by society, the economy, lack of money, lack of finance. All of that is part of it. And what we're watching right now, we're not only fighting COVID-19, we're fighting something bigger than COVID-19. We're fighting a battle that if we don't choose spiritually only, COVID-19 owns you, or the enemy owns you. God took this whole 2020 to make an example out of everything. He don't care about you being who you be with who you be. He don't care about what you do behind the doors. He don't care about none of that. What he cares about is that you understand that you're safe. You're not stressing. You're not worried. You're not weary. You're not crying. You're not sitting here pretending day in and day out on social media. You're spending your last dollar on the last pound of makeup or your last pound for some Jordans. Only to see who's going to love you. When you get that spiritual love, God connects you to spiritual love. And you never, ever in your life want to lose that. You don't want to lose somebody that spiritually love you. Though you may not understand the spiritual love, the feeling of it, you can't deny it. Don't lose it for the fact of people, the worldly ways. Don't lose it. Stop looking for people on the outside to give you what you need in the inside when you already have it. Love yourself first. We're going to get out. I know it's time. It's getting late. But we're going to get out of here. You got another question?
No, I was just going to say I'm so glad you stopped by and gave us this interview today. Thank you for making time for us
Sure enough.
at Virtual Truth Entertainment.
Hey, glad for you having me. I know we'll be back again for part 2.
Yes, there's a lot of topics that we didn't get to cover, but
Yeah.
we're gonna finish up.
Which is understood, but God only allows certain things to happen at certain times.
That is
This
correct.
is a building process. This is just not nothing happen overnight. You know, I just love the fact that I'm able to speak to you about the questions that you've asked. You've been very professional with it. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being, Thank you for being professional with it.